What's good, fam? Welcome back to the zone. Today, I'm highlighting Miles Auguste, who led the Pelicans in their loss to the Rockets in Game 2 of the series. Miles came close to a double-double with 32 points and 9 assists. He also had 3 rebounds and 2 steals, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Shooting-wise, Miles shot 48% from the field, but had an abysmal 17% from the perimeter. On the season, Miles averaged 29 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 54% shooting. Now next up, we will be going through the full highlights from Game 2, but I suggest that you stay tuned to learn more about Miles after the highlights. See you in a bit.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. And he was injured in that game and in those series. Now let's take a look at the starters for New Orleans. Starks is out there with Walden. And there's the general, and it's Big Daddy, and it's Boss in at the point guard position. And for the Rockets, lights out there.
Wasn't a long pass.
You got it in stride.
In stride, and then 2 seconds later.
Wow.
So De'Aaron Fox would do that.
That's fast.
Just love watching him operate inside.
Here's Boss. Hold on!
You got to buckle up on that one.
Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rim.
Steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Banked in off the glass. Here's Big Dog. Got a piece of it. Now Fisher. 5 points in the game. Here's Boss. Got it. Outside, Walden. Inside. Boss gets the bucket.
As a global product, and at the same time, Commissioner Silver reaffirming the league's American values.
Pelicans trail by 17. Starts the pass to Boss. Trying to break that ice-cold streak.
An incredible reverse throwdown.
It's a second chance opportunity.
And Walden. Pass to Boss. Shoots it. And it's New Orleans scoring again.
Yeah, this offense is rolling. They've been assertive, but they're also...
Bay passes to Boss. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
And boy.
And it's Fisher in the corner. Drills it from outside.
Now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark.
You know he's pulling his weight, but they still find themselves behind.
Look, the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
Boss gets the bucket.
And the D just a step slow, reacting to the step back.
One missing.
It's amazing. All night he's been out of sync on the offensive end, yet they continue to lead.
The pass to Boss. Deep. The long distance three is Bins. Down low. Here's Walden. Sinks that one from the post. Here's Boss. Hornacek covering. Releases from 15. Boss gets it. Leads, and now the Pelicans on the break. Here's Walden. Cans it from downtown. 1:52 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Boss. Makes it off. Here's Boss. There's 126 for cool hands.
And guys, that's going to wrap it up. Fans are piling out the exits.
For those of you that don't know, Miles is the third out of the 3 Auguste brothers who, like his older brother Raphael, plays the 1 and 2 positions, although the 1 is Miles' primary position, whereas the 1 is Raphael's secondary position. Now, in this universe, Miles came in the same draft class as Axel Walden and Hendrix Cobb after a year at UCLA. He's 6'5" and 195 pounds with an overall of 86, which is 4 points higher than what he was at the beginning of the season. Now, Miles' play style is a lot different from his brothers, and he's considered to be an offensive threat with the characteristics of 3-point scoring, mid-range scoring, and inside scoring. And I'm sure the 15 badges also help make him a threat as well. And speaking of badges, Miles has 4 finishing badges, 5 shooting, 5 playmaking, and 1 defensive badge. Under finishing, Miles has 4 Hall of Fame badges, being consistent finisher, contact finisher, relentless finisher, and slithery finisher. And then when it comes to his shooting badges, Miles has Hall of Fame Deadeye, goal difficult shots, flexible release, range extender, and steady shooter. As for playmaking, Miles has goal dimer, handle for days, space creator, tight handles, and unpluckable. And finally, Miles has silver clamps for his defensive badge. Moving on to Miles' shot chart, we can see that there isn't a spot that Miles doesn't like. However, just as with the other plays I've highlighted thus far, the majority of Miles' shots attempted are under the basket, which represents 35% of his shots, where he makes roughly 70% of them. His second favorite area is beyond the arc, where he's taken 25% of his shots and made roughly 40% of them. Now, the one thing Miles needs to work on is his mid-range shooting. I say this because during Game 2, he got shut down from the perimeter. Without this, Miles had to rely on scoring in the paint, which is easy to neutralize if you have the right folks protecting the paint like Eli Harris and Sean Hornacek. So with only 18% of his shots coming from the mid-range area, but Miles making 47% of those shots, this is definitely an area that he should focus on developing. Moving on to the advanced stats, just as with Eli, these stats tell a positive story. Miles is first for the Pelicans in player efficiency rating, he's 12th in rebound rate, 4th in the assist ratio, although one might argue 3rd if we take into account Giovanni, who only played 8 games and had 7 assists, compared to Miles, who had 585 assists over 82 games. Just saying. The advanced stats can be misleading at times, but moving on, Miles is first in usage rate and first in estimated wins added with 24 wins. The second highest after Miles was 8 wins by Stephen Lee, which explains a lot regarding the struggles the Pelicans faced during the season. When it comes to season highs, Miles' numbers are out there. You would think he's actually playing in the NBA. He had a season high of 59 points in a single game against the Memphis Grizzlies, but this was not the highest scoring performance during the regular season. In fact, the league leader was Hendrix Cobb with 63 points in a single game. Needless to say, their rivalry is alive and well. Miles had a high of 24 field goals made in a single game, as well as 5 threes made. And I'd like to note that Miles tied his own records at the end of Game 2 regarding field goals made in a single game during the playoffs at the 3rd spot. This made it his 3rd time getting into record book for field goals made in a playoff game. Moving on, Miles had 11 rebounds in a single game, which is pretty impressive for a point guard. He even had a game where he had 10 defensive rebounds in a single game. Miles was able to get 14 assists in a single game, which was the same game where he scored 59 points. In fact, that game, the Pelicans mopped the floor with the Grizzlies, beating them by 44, which helped get them into the playoffs. In addition, Miles had a season high of 4 steals and 3 blocks. To close this out, Miles was an all-star this season, as well as made the first FBL team. He was a Rookie of the Year, made first team, and was an all-star in the previous version of my league. Do you think I should include these stats in his award list going forward? Let me know down below what you think, because I probably have to do that for all the players if that's the case. Now it's time for the league leaders. And of the 74 active point guards, Miles ranked 3rd in points with a really small margin between him and Bayou James. Shout out to YG the Beast and Hendrix Cobb, who was higher than Bayou. Also, shout out to Hoodie Sean because Kenji Hall is one of his players who came in at 4th in scoring. Now for rebounding, Miles came in 14th. He's also 3rd in assists, 10th in steals, 18th in blocks, 3rd in shooting percentage, and 14th in efficiency from beyond the arc. When compared to the rest of the league, Miles is still ranked 3rd in scoring. However, he's 112th in rebounds, 12th in assists, 40th in steals, 127th in blocks, 10th in field goal percentage, and 47th in percentage from beyond the arc. To wrap things up, Miles took charge during the season to become the team's captain, and the numbers show why. Nonetheless, Miles has areas to work on as he matures his game in this league, especially his mid-range scoring, but also his perimeter defense. But that will do it for today's video, fam. If you made it to this point in the video, you are a real one. I truly appreciate you. Until the next episode, fam, as always, keep grinding, keep growing, and keep shining. I'm out. 1.